How much time? Pyramid usually took us like, I would say max like 2 hours. But the actual pyramid part barely took any time at all, and I don't think people notice that. Like, when we first get into the room, we have to recap on last week. We have to tell the kids how they did last week. Like, so much happens before. Like, the actual pyramid part takes like 5 minutes. But we're in there talking, the moms start fighting, like, I honestly, our Jing and Ting Ting friends, I didn't know that any of that happened until I watched the show back. So I didn't know what had happened at their old studio. But, I mean, they get along. I don't know if they, like, hang out just on the daily. But I think a lot of topics were a little controversial. And there have definitely been more ideas thrown out there that there have been, like, a hard, like, we give a hard no to also, but they do keep in contact with Mina, but she doesn't have a phone, so I mean they'll text on her iPad or something, or occasionally like FaceTime. She'll just randomly like stop by the studio and we have no idea she's coming, and she'll just like walk in, and they love it. But I really wish that I got to film more with Mina and Min, because they were so funny. We don't know where she is. It was crazy, bro. I want to do like I don't know if it's enough for like a whole YouTube video, but maybe I'll make a TikTok about everything that happened. I still can't get over it. I want to watch, if they made a documentary about Kim Rishi, I would watch it. Because we still don't really know what happened. We only know like the lies that she was telling us for a long time. Bellatrix and Layla, maybe? They both are so like naturally gifted, and they do really well like in ballet. I mean, you can see their technique shine through and everything, but I think it's actually the most impressive in actual like ballet class, because a lot of people can kind of fake technique through other styles, but when you actually put them at a bar and see if they're actually doing things correctly, like those two are like, they definitely have that. I don't honestly see that happening, only because she's a lot older than the rest of the kids. And it definitely would not be a junior group anymore. But it was fun having her for that week. Do you have auditions? Yeah, we have, like at the beginning, or like over the summer, we have auditions for the next team, or like next season. But also, if you go on like the Project X Elite's Instagram, they kind of have like information on auditioning for a next season for the elite team too. I do think that the show, okay, this is one thing, and I haven't done a live since the show came out, so let's talk about it a little bit. But I think the most like, well, I don't know the word I'm trying to say. The thing that looked the most different, at least when it came to me, was that like I just had it out for Audrey, when actually I was kind of the most there for her. I just don't think you can really see that. But she actually, they didn't show this on the episode, but she called me the night before telling me that she was gonna quit, and that she didn't want me to tell anybody, so I respected that. I didn't tell my mom or anything, or any producer. Nobody knew except for me and Tammy, obviously. So I already knew what was happening when she like walked in to tell my mom. So that's why I walked back in, because I knew that Audrey, like, she told me the reasons that she didn't want to be there, and I fully supported that. Not because I don't think that she was an asset to the team, but because she needed to focus on herself, and I wanted that for her, and I didn't want anyone to pressure her into staying there. Honestly, they all got better. Like after season 1. At the beginning, I would say that Smiley and Ashton maybe were picking up the slowest, but they definitely improved on that. Yes, I'm so close with Audrey. I'm very close with all of them. She really actually did. She genuinely, I mean, but they were never gonna tell a kid, go pretend to forget your soul on stage. Like, that's just not, I think people forget that this really is actually real life. A lot of things are, I don't know, a little more extreme than they would be maybe on the day-to-day, but in that moment, and I actually remember thinking like that was she's such an animated little girl that I totally understand why people think that she was acting in that moment, but nope, that was really, really her. Yes, Mia and Layla are best friends, one of the cutest things ever. I am not mad at Audrey for how she was acting. I completely understood why she was acting the way that she was, and that's why I was saying she needs some time off, and that's why I was being there for her when not everybody else could. Well, I mean, Domenica's like my best friend, so we laugh the most together. I think Material Girl, which I actually didn't really choreograph much of, but I think that looked the best on stage. I also, I don't know, everything was happening so fast I didn't take time to like appreciate the dances during the week. I did like Baby in the Bayou a lot. I think that looked really good. Twice. They did once with the judges watching, and then the judges would leave, and then they would like do it again for just camera angles, like purely camera angles, not judged at all. They already had the scores locked in and everything. But they always want a lot of camera angles. They also, sometimes they go on stage with them, which they obviously can't do during the judged version. So neither of them were better than the other. I think they both did a great job. But I think musical theater for nationals is hard and not as competitive all the time, but they still got it done. They did their job, so. I liked it better on the show than I liked it in person. I was a little bit like, it wasn't my favorite when I was watching it throughout the week, but I did like how it turned out. Yes, they actually won the competitions. They can't alter any of that stuff. Even the producer was like, we have to start going to harder competitions because it's gonna look like this is like planned. I thought it was The Resort, actually, but then when I watched it back, I didn't feel that way. No, actually, what was the first dance this season? I didn't like that dance. I didn't like that dance. Mia's necklace. I didn't even remember that happening, honestly. So I don't know which one that was in. Mia came like in January of 2025, and then we started filming in like March, I think. So she did come before the show and before she got on the show, and yeah. No, her earring did not close up. She got her earring back in. I do not still live with Tammy, and neither does my mom. And also, okay, everyone was like, that's so weird that they live with like Audrey's dad after Tammy moved out. They did that so unexpectedly days before filming started, and we all low-key thought that they were crazy for doing that because like we're about to film, get through this first and then do that. But I am proud of, like, in the moment, I think Tammy really had enough. So I was really proud of her for doing that and choosing herself. But yeah, they did that, and then we were in the middle of filming, you know, so we had to get through that, and then we figured out where to go from there. I was not expecting an undefeated season, and I was so nervous. Like, every time it gets more nerve-wracking because they had more wins and we were getting closer to nationals. Like, it was so nerve-wracking. I mean, I never found it annoying that Ashton was crying. Sometimes it was like, okay, girl, come on. But it was always like, obviously there's a reason to that, and whether it's a little bit dramatic or not, like, something is making her feel that way. So I would never say I was annoyed. The girls, yes, they went to normal school on Mondays, and then the rest of the week when we were filming, they had a tutor on set.